Shi Yongxin, the abbot of Shaolin Monastery, is suspected of criminal offences, misappropriating project funds and appropriating the monastery's assets. In serious violation of Buddhist precepts, he had a long history of inappropriate relationships with multiple women and had an illegitimate child. It is currently under joint multi-agency investigation. Relevant information will be made public in a timely manner. This is absolutely huge. This is an official statement put out by the Shaolin Temple on their official Chinese social media. I've just read out a translation of the official statement into English, and from what I know, this is the first time the Shaolin Temple has officially denounced the abbot Shi Yongxin. Now, we do know that he has been under criminal investigation before. In 2015, there was a large case made against him for exactly the same thing: misappropriation of project funds, appropriation of monastery assets and similar. That case was eventually dropped, but it didn't stop Chinese state media Xinhua calling him the Abbot CEO, which has kind of become a little bit of a nickname for him now here in China. He also received criticism back then for receiving a luxury car as a gift from the local government, in gratitude for him promoting tourism in the region. Now, the story of the illegitimate wives is something that's widely rumoured in China, and it's been said that he's had up to 300 of them, as well as a number of illegitimate children. Of course, this number cannot be proven, but what's interesting to note is that the Shaolin Temple has officially put this out there, and they have formally accused him of seriously violating Buddhist precepts. This means that there's no coming back to that. The Shaolin Abbot is pretty much gone. What exactly has happened now? Well, this all came out yesterday, which was Sunday, July the 27th. Now, on Saturday, July the 26th, rumours started circulating here on Chinese social media, saying that the abbot had attempted to board a plane in Shanghai Pudong Airport with several mistresses and children, attempting to flee to the US, and was apprehended by authorities. It was also said that he was arrested by the Kaifeng City Police. The Kaifeng Police then put out a statement denying that, but saying that investigation is currently ongoing. Now, this was kind of strange because there was only screenshots of the Kaifeng Police statement denying they'd arrested him, but confirming there was a statement ongoing, because nothing was actually on their social media. So it's unsure if they posted this and then removed it, or if this was a fake post. But this was serious enough that this has actually been picked up by Chinese state media. Now, I've started looking around, and I've seen that quite a few Chinese state media outlets have been running this story already. We've got Global Times on it, People's Daily, Xinhua, China Daily, South China Morning Post, which is a Hong Kong based outlet, which is not a state-run outlet, but it is one that is sympathetic to the Chinese state. So we've started seeing this getting picked up quite a lot here in China. I've been looking at Western media. So far, the only thing I've seen is Associated Press and American US ABC News. I haven't seen much major Western media pickup yet, which is why I wanted to get this video out there, put these facts, what we do know so far, out, which is what I've just said. So what we can say for certain is that he is being investigated. He has been officially denounced by the Shaolin Temple for the accusations of criminal activities, including, these various corruption things using the temple's funds. It's been formally and officially put out there that the temple is aware of his activities with multiple women and having illegitimate children, and that this is something that the temple is trying to distance itself from. Now, as I've seen that there has been very little Western media pickup, there has been pretty much zero Western social media pickup so far, I wanted to make sure that I get this information out there early and, clarify what is fact that we know for certain and what is speculation and rumour. because, you know, it's only going to be a matter of time before the talking heads and pundits get on this and they start presenting all this speculation and rumor as fact. They start looking into, you know, almost sort of conspiracy theory type stuff. And on that note, I wanted to mention the sponsor of today's video, which is a tool which I use myself. And I think it's especially pertinent in situations like this, you know, where there may be media bias, where there may be speculation presented as fact. It's important to have a tool where you can compare different media outlets' coverage of the same story, you know, be aware of their bias. And that's why I use Ground News. Ground News is an app and website that combines news from around the world in one place so you can compare coverage. For every news source, you can see if they have a political bias, how reliable their reporting is, and who owns them. You can verify your information and know where the news is coming from. With Ground News, you can see what the media is exaggerating, sensationalizing, over or under reporting. You can see who funds each publication, compare coverage, and think critically about the information you consume. Go to check.ground.news/monkeystealspeach to check it out now. If you subscribe for my link, you get 40% off the Vantage subscription. Now, I've also been talking to some of my sources that are in the Shaolin Temple and then in Dongfeng County, and trying to get a bit of an inside scoop on what's been going on here. And I want to just clarify that this is rumor and speculation and talk that's going on the ground in Shaolin Temple and Dongfeng. This is not official fact, and so I'm presenting it as such. Now, people that I've spoken to who are familiar with the situation told me that several high-ranking monks and other officials in the Shaolin Temple were arrested in the front of the temple on Saturday the 26th of July. There is rumoured to be well over 300 more people that are currently at risk of also being arrested in connection with whatever this investigation is that's undergoing. It's been rumoured that the Shaolin Abbot's personal assets are in the billions, between 5 and 20 billion renminbi, although that number is, again, speculative, we can't know for sure, but there has long been accusations of him appropriating temple funds for himself, building a huge commercial empire. One thing that's particularly interesting that people familiar with the situation in Dongfeng have told me is that back in February, the abbot met with the Pope, and that this, you know, since that meeting, many people in Dongfeng have been saying it's only a matter of time before the abbot's arrested. So this is clearly something that, you know, people locally have known is going to happen, and, you know, people are believing that this meeting with the Pope may be something that could have triggered it. Now, why is this important? Well, the abbot is not actually a member of the Communist Party himself, but he is a member of the People's Congress, which is essentially a non-party committee that, you know, stamps Communist Party laws into effect. He is also I forget if it's the chairman or the vice chairman of the Chinese Buddhist Association. That association is tied to the Communist Party as a part of their United Front Works, which is an organization whose work is basically to spread Chinese influence overseas, using things like culture, religion, martial arts, you know, social groups and other kind of things to try and, you know, spread China's influence and so-called tell the good China story overseas. So he is somebody with political sway. So why does someone like that meeting the Pope matter? Well, the Vatican is one of the few states in the world that still has diplomatic ties with Taiwan. That means that the Vatican officially recognizes Taiwan as a country and not as a part of China, which is key to the One China policy, which states that if you have diplomatic ties with China, you have to recognize that Taiwan is a part of China. So you can imagine the, you know, the issues that can come about the abbot meeting the Pope. You know, even if it was just a so-called religious meeting, there is always political undertones to these kind of things. Now, people in Dongfeng have also told me that Many in the martial art community there are secretly very happy. They've been waiting for him to be taken down for a long time. A lot of people have been very unhappy with the commercialization of the temple. They've been very unhappy with the focus on modern wushu and performance stuff. They've felt like it's made a commodity of the Shaolin heritage. They feel like it's kind of, buried the real tradition and kind of almost made Shaolin Kung Fu into something of a circus performance. And so there is a lot of hope now, quiet hope within people in the martial art community in Dongfeng, that a new abbot will be brought in, and he will be someone who is much more austere and much more focused on, keeping true to Buddhist precepts, and also to promoting the, much more authentic and traditional Chinese martial arts. It has been noted that in the last few years, Chinese state media has been making a lot of documentaries and TV shows where they've been showing the much more traditional side of Shaolin. And so there is kind of, there is speculation that the mood within the Chinese government, at least, within this kind of cultural sphere, is to try and promote more this authentic culture and, push, organizations such as the Shaolin Temple to move more in that direction and away from, the more kind of wushu-y antics that they've been, so known for in the past few years. Now, we don't really know what exactly is going to happen. We don't know why they chose now to take the abbot down. It could well be to do with the meeting with the Pope. It could be something else. So, that is what I know about the arrest of the Shaolin abbot. I hope you guys found that insightful. Again, I want to differentiate between what we know as fact and what we know as, online speculation, on-the-ground speculation from people that do have inside knowledge, but, we don't know what agenda they have to be telling us this. And so, we do need to be cautious with what information we are believing, and we also do need to wait and see, give it some time to find out what is actually going to come out of this and what the actual facts are going to be.